So this is my assignment that I just finished. It's like I just submitted it, so that's it. And so it says today's date and time. So it's really exciting that I actually got it done, but it's so nerve-wracking. I feel nervous because I have no idea if it's right or wrong. The first one, I'll show you. So this is like the first version that I ever sent in of the same assignment. I had everything wrong, nothing right. I thought it was quite a clever assignment, but then I realized how wrong it was because when you go over here, so it says it was marked around that time. Go over here and I got 2.25 out of 45. And so I was like, oh, that's really disappointing. But I didn't realize at first that there was an edited version of your submitted work online because I was just reading the overview comments, like the overview of things that you have to look out for, but I didn't realize it had a revised document. So this one up here was submitted without me reading my revised document. And so of course I've got like kind of less than half marks there. And so these two marks are actually very encouraging. But my my two other submissions are the bigger marks, and so but I'm very discouraged because even with my last submission, I didn't realize that edited document was there, and so once again I missed out on fixing issues up. But this one that I just did I finally realized there's a reviewed version of your document on the left hand side. There's this little link at the bottom that you click on for it. And I didn't realize that, and so this last one's going to be like probably near perfect, hopefully. I could have revised it once again. I did have time, but I didn't feel like it. I felt like everything but the conclusion. I think the conclusion's probably going to mess me up a lot, but any case, I didn't want to put it through to a review because you only get so many free reviews before you run out of them. So I thought, I think everything's pretty much near perfect. So I just submitted it, and maybe I should have reviewed it because I've got such low marks with other assignments. It's like I really need top marks, but I know I submitted it already, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I think it's a pretty good assignment. And hopefully I'll get some sort of grade that scrapes me over 50%. I don't know. Apparently you need like 95%, but I don't know whether it's just for this one unit or the whole entire course. So now that I know that there's that revised document available, I think I should do a lot better with all my future assignments. But this whole segment's very wishy-washy. I think it's just because it's the first lot of assignments of after you coming back to studies after not studying like on this particular website platform for a really long time. I was used to this other platform which was like with another organization, and this particular one was once again new to me because I haven't seen it in a long time. I do feel like I've studied at Curtin previously though, so it's probably which is a little discouraging because if I lose my certificates ever, I can't get copies of them. So I'll just have to keep copies in my email or something. I like take a picture of my thing so that I am not excluded from being able to receive copies. But in the past, I didn't take photographs of the certificates, and they weren't on any online storage, like in an email or something. And so I didn't have those copies, digital copies of the real thing. And so all I had was the real things, and someone stole them, and I couldn't get any copies because I wasn't sure of my course details, and I wasn't even sure of the organization I had studied with. But I'm pretty sure I'd studied with Curtin ages ago because they have the same people being the lecturers and the teachers. And so I'm like, I recognize these people. I bet I did study at this uni in the past, so that's a little bit of a damper. But I think, yeah, but I think I'll try and be a little bit more careful. Sometimes I don't necessarily am careful. Like, I have no idea how that could be because I have the same emails I had over 20 years ago, and I'm like, how can I not store things that remind me of the course? I'm like, I don't know. No idea. I don't know how it can be, but it did, and it was, and so I have to start all my certificates all over again, and it's not perfect the first time around. So, um, so I'm not sure how big a course this is because I signed up online and I was like, I want to do a writing course, and they're like, okay, what particular kind of writing? And so this has all been like a setup course, and I have no idea if it's like just a certificate. It should be a certificate. I was told it was a certificate, but on the beginning of the course, it said these units were linked to a larger master's degree. So they're like segments of the master's degree, and I'm like, oh, why didn't they just sign me up for the master's degree? But I think it should be a certificate. I don't think I've been jumped into the master's degree, so I'm kind of a little bit confused because I didn't actually sign up myself, and I got someone over the phone to sign up for me. I'm like, I want to do the master's degree. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a new master's degree and a new art degree. I think art's realistic. Can get me practiced in how to make proper art. I usually fumble around near the end of it though. I would like to do those 2 degrees, and I do want to do a psychology course too, get a small diploma or something in psychology, because there's jobs on the internet all the time, and I'm like, I'd love to be able to apply for these jobs. I know I've done psychology in the past, and everyone's like, do a lawyer course too, because I used to have an active flair for lawyer courses, and they always got online jobs for something to do with lawyers. So I could use with all these amplified courses of things that I've done previously. I'm quite good at law, but except for up to the final stage of it, is usually when I fail, because they're like, we don't want to pass you because you're not good enough. Even though lawyers in general suck, you're like, well. But I've had some really bad lawyers. Like, some don't even bother to do anything but stand and sit. They won't talk, and they literally just go there to stand in a suit, and then at the end you're paying them like $15,000, and they didn't bother to try. They didn't obtain evidence. They didn't even bother to go for your side. They just stood up and said, no questions, and sat down. And it's like, isn't that like the biggest scam that you've ever met? And so I thought that was very disheartening, because you put a lot of faith in a lawyer, and they said, yeah, I'm going to be prepared and everything's going to be great. They say that they can give you an outcome, and then they say nothing in the court, and then they're like, but we still need our $15,000, And I'm like, that is such a scam. So some lawyers are really terrible. Most lawyers go into court without things set up in their minds. They don't have enough evidence. They're unprepared. They're not prepared for being counterattacked. They're not thinking. They don't think like, oh, how can we win this? They just go, oh, we're not winning. We're not going to try anymore. So I don't know. Yeah, I do also want to do a dance course. I'd like to do a dance course. I think you can do online versions, because I don't see myself going to a studio, but I'd love to do a dance course too. So yeah, and what else would I want to do? I've got so much things I'd want to do. I did do once a doctor's certificate, but someone ripped it up and excluded me from having had graduated from it, because apparently I was a failing GP. like I did things wrong, and then I was fired right away. And then they ripped up my certificate, and then they got the institution to ban my certificate, the issuing of it, as though, I was like the worst person in the world or something. So they get pretty narky, but I think I should have been able to keep my certificates because then you can do other courses, be like, well, that was a failing, let's do other courses. I mean, everyone thinks if you're not smart enough to work in the job, you shouldn't do the course. And then it's like, why bother? And it's like, I don't know, why bother with anything. So I don't know, it's just in case it matters. Sometimes find it easier to get a job, or you can do another course because you're not doing anything. I mean, the government pays for the course when you're not earning a specific amount of money. And if you're not doing anything and you're not earning a specific amount of money, why not do a free course? So why not do a course? And if you have obviously previous certificates that can go towards your acceptance of different courses, because I didn't do that great at high school. My high school final years were a big failing. I didn't do enough. I did half of the courses, and I only just scraped a pass in the whole entire aspect of your year 12 certificate. So I didn't do great there. So I'm sort of, doing different courses to get the backup to be able to have access into other courses and things. So yeah, but anyway, now I just don't think I would look for too many jobs. I think I would just look for online jobs, because I think people are just so hard on me in real life, and it's like, you don't know whether it's racism or socialism or or what, but you're like going, I think you're like always thinking, I think I just better stay at home and work from home, because the world to work in it's like they're waiting for like their stars, and their stars always drugged up people who have desired births, because ever since they're young they're amplified to encouraged to be something, and everyone agrees that they should be something because they're so great. And that's what employees seem to be waiting for, the stars of the community to get into the workplace. Everyone else is just like, get out of my face, we don't want to see you here. And it's like, you don't know what it is, but it's like having a certificate is just not enough. You need like the right personality, the right looks, and if you're on a drug to be professional standard, that's exactly what an employer wants. And so you need all these apparent things, and otherwise you're like being treated like garbage. And so I'm like, since I'm treated like garbage despite using my brain and getting certificates and things, no one believes that I can do anything, because they just look at me. I've got a bland personality. It doesn't really pop, doesn't interest them, doesn't inspire them to make me anything higher than common. And they're like, get out of my face, I don't want to see you in here, get rid of that certificate, you should never even bother to do it, kind of things. So it is sort of like that. And I'm like, well, I'm not, I just feel so discouraged from looking for jobs, because it's so violent sometimes, and you're like going, even just being yelled at and is violent, and having a certificate ripped up is really violent, and then going to lengths to get organizations to cancel your records is extremely extreme. All this is violence, and then of course it can go into physical violence and all these other kinds of violence. And it's like, if you get the really bad workplaces, and you're like going, geez, you professional nothings. Yeah, but I hope I do well with this assignment. Like I said, the only thing that's weak is probably the conclusion, which I summed up. But I don't think it's a properly written conclusion still, and I probably should have resubmitted it, but I said I don't want to waste too many submissions on this, because I'll probably need them later on. But anyway, it's happened, I've submitted, and then I'm like, okay, that's cool, just leave it at that.
and wait to see what I get.